Hello people of the internet, welcome back to some more Fnaf news, where today Steelwool Studios may have just given us our very first teaser for the next mainline Five Nights at Freddy's game. So if you're excited for the speculation to begin, scroll down, tickle that subscribe button. We cover all the Fnaf news here on the channel, so subscribe, you don't want to miss out on any details. Now admittedly, I am a couple days late to this news topic because I really didn't know if I wanted to make a video on it, simply because it truly is just speculation. We really don't know if what we got from Steelwool is a teaser for the next game. However, I know a bunch of other FNAF YouTubers have talked about it, and there are some interesting details that we can gather that maybe could hint that this truly is teasing the next game, so I decided I'm just gonna make a video, I'm gonna give you guys my 2 cents. We'll get a discussion going. What do we think this teaser is? Do we think it's for the next game? What do we want the next game to be? So this is the post that we're talking about from Steelwool. Like I said, it's a couple days old at this point, but they say, no secrets, no hidden clues, no teaser, no countdown, just 3 differences, probably, eye emoji, how fast can you spot them? Fart cloud emoji. And attached to the post are 2 images of the same room, but there's 3 differences. So kind of like I Spy, you're supposed to look at the 2 images and see what's changed. One of the floaties on the wall has disappeared, one of the floaties in the pool has changed directions, and then one of the floaties off to the right has changed its color. So you may be thinking from the caption of the post, you know, no secrets, no teasers, no countdown, no nothing, that this is just something that Steelwool made for fun, right? It's a nice little community engagement to get people replying, oh, this changed and this changed, you know, just to farm up some engagement from fans. But of course, FNAF fans are relentless, so they picked apart every single detail about this room, and they found some pretty interesting stuff. Obviously, there are some connections, you could say, to FNAF. First and foremost, the floor, it's that iconic black and white checkered flooring. You have chicken floaties that could relate to Chica in some way, especially when we just had a FNAF game that had an entire section dedicated to Chica, as well as finally giving us more details on Chica's Party World, the original restaurant that Chica, you know, originates from. Off to the left-hand side as well, you do have a mysterious green light coming from something that's just out of view, which is pretty interesting, because if Steelwool is just making this just to tweet out, just to get some engagement, why would they model an entire room, including stuff that's out of view of the camera? This seems like a pretty heavy task to do just for a random social media post. Honestly, I'm still pretty 50-50 whether or not this is a teaser for the next game, or if it's just something for fun. It just feels so random. Before this tweet, Steelwool Studios did do a guess the location, right? Guess the FNAF location, which was just the welcome show entrance in Secret of the Mimic. But there were a lot of FNAF fans that were like, hey Steelwool, wouldn't it be so cool if you did something like this, right? Slowly reveal a location. But it was a location for a brand new game, right? It was a brand new location we've never seen before for an upcoming game. So like, maybe this is what they're doing. So if we do assume that's what they're doing and they just randomly dropped a brand new location and we assume this is for the next game, that's where speculation starts to get pretty fun, because that's when you start to theorize, okay, an indoor pool area, what kind of building would have something like that? Could it be another mall similar to the Mega Pizzaplex? Could it be like a hotel, a resort? Most likely it's some sort of like entertainment center, so could it be like an aquarium or a water park? You know, this wouldn't be the first time that FNAF fans have theorized about a water-based game, an aquatic-themed game from Steelwool. If you remember the lead up to Ruin, a lot of FNAF fans were assuming that that game was going to have some sort of aquatic theme to it. One of the first teasers we ever got for Ruin was for Chica's Chowder, which again makes you think, what's with Steelwool and using Chica or chicken-themed characters for their teasers, right? But at the time for Ruin, a lot of FNAF fans thought Chica's Chowder was going to be some sort of restaurant or brand new attraction, you know, at the Mega Pizzaplex that was going to serve seafood chowder. At the time, Ray McCaffrey, who was an employee at Steelwool Studios, was also tweeting a lot about fish and aquariums, visiting aquariums. So a lot of people thought that Steelwool was going out to these aquariums to do research for their next, you know, aquatic themed game. Although that didn't end up actually meaning anything. But again, there has been a lot of Chica and sea imagery. You have Chica of the Sea in Security Breach. You have Chica as a mermaid in the Help Wanted, you know, pirate ride. So all of that to say, this is not our first time speculating on a Steelwool project that is being teased with Chica and seemingly has aquatic themes to it. So if only the FNAF franchise had like an official water park location that Steelwool could use as reference for the next game. Have you guys read Tales from the Pizzaplex? In Submechanophobia, there is an official Freddy Fazbear's Fantasy Water Park location. It's got rides like Foxy's Island Water Slides, Chica's Ferry Boats, Bonnie Sea Ponds, Freddy's Treasures and Eatery, and of course, the Mech Aquarium, which is at the center of the park and houses all of the animatronic characters, right? You've got shark animatronics, sea serpent animatronics, a sea dragon, a mermaid, a broken down withered squid, which sounds absolutely terrifying. So already we have an official FNAF water park attraction that Steelwool can use as inspiration for the next game, and Steelwool is known to draw influence from the books for the FNAF games. Hint, hint, the entirety of Secret of the Goddamn Mimic. But then also there's Drowning, another Tales from the Pizzaplex story, where literally the main character is at the Mega Pizzaplex, and there is a VR attraction called The Resort that features 3 different experiences: the beach, the coaster city, and a water park. The main character actually ends up being trapped in the water park in VR, where, believe it or not, she's trapped in a labyrinth of rooms that have tiled walls and pools. Oh, hey, look at that, tiled walls and pools. Kind of liminal space, right? All those creepy images of pool areas. Imagine if Steelwool's next 3D free roam FNAF game had that kind of aesthetic to it. I mean, that would just be absolutely terrifying. I feel like it'd be a very good kind of dark twist on the Mega Pizzaplex in Security Breach, where everything there is brightly colored, there's so many lights, so many fun characters. But then you have like this flip side game, right, where everything's dark, eerie, liminal, all the characters are broken down, they like lurk in the shadows of the pools. I don't know, I'm spitballing here. Like I said, this is pretty much like a speculation video. Again, we have no idea if this is a teaser for the next game, but imagine how fun that would be if it was. We do know that Steelwool is confirmed working on the next FNAF game. We've been knowing that for a long time. Scott Cawthon confirmed that in the 2024 interview with Dawko for the 10th anniversary.
And there is another game planned with Steelwool, but that's not going to be announced for a while yet. So I can't talk about that. But there is something down the pipe. Even beyond what's being announced this week, there's something beyond, but I can't talk about that.
And typically, once Steelwool releases a game, they pretty much almost immediately start work on the next title. That's been the case for all their projects. So 2 years ago now, again in 2024, they were planning the next game. They knew what it was going to be. And now it's been over a year since Secret of the Mimic. I feel like it's pretty safe to say they're developing the next game right now. And I feel like that's most likely why they outsourced Mimic VR to Devoted Studios, was because main studios of Steelwool was focused on developing the next game. So pretty much that's where speculation is at right now. Could this be a teaser for the next game? Maybe. You know, we've gotten things like that from Steelwool in the past, where they would post something that seemingly has nothing to do with FNAF, like the Guess the Sketches, but then Secret of the Mimic rolls around, and it's like, oh my gosh, that was referencing that was referencing, you know, like the time period that the game was going to be set in. After Security Breach, Steelwool was tweeting about Helpy a lot. Maybe because he's just a fun, cute little guy, but then also he would have major appearances in the next title, Ruin. Most recently, Steelwool posted a word scramble that gave us the info that Secret of the Mimic VR was being tested. So like in the past, we have gotten seemingly unrelated to FNAF posts that did actually end up meaning something in the long run. Though of course that doesn't mean every single post from Steelwool is going to mean something. Like they just did a 4th of July post. So unless Firework Freddy or Liberty Chica is showing up in Ruin 2, I don't think those mean anything. And then also there were a lot of FNAF fans that were like, bro, this room looks so bad. Like it looks so bland and uninteresting. I hope this isn't the next FNAF game. And I absolutely agree, this is a very bare bones room. So it does kind of feel like this room was just thrown together quickly for a social post. Or it could be an early version of a room, or just trying to get the idea across to us that the next game is aquatic themed. I don't know. But I feel like I've yapped long enough, so I'd love to know, what are your thoughts on this post from Steelwool? Do you think it truly is a teaser for the next FNAF game, or do you think us FNAF fans are just losing our mind? I truly do feel like we are going to get a teaser for the next FNAF game. I feel like we're going to get the official announcement for it at the anniversary in August. Hopefully around then we can also get more updates from Steelwool on stuff like the Mimic VR Quest port that they said was coming out later in 2026, and then also, you know, Xbox Curse of Dreadbear, wherever that may be. But that's going to do it for today's FNAF news video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Goodbye.